Okay guys, we are back. This is Katie Burns with Live Well, part 2 of last week where we were doing healthy football food and talking a little bit about grief and the stages, and we'll add in some extra information in there for you. But again, beginning my episode with steam. We have a pot of boiling water, salted. But the reason I said, okay, we gotta hurry back and get back with you, Facebook Live is still on, so I don't know if you've continued to stay with us or if you'll tune in on a repeat on my page, Katie Burns, Live Well. But hey, our zucchini boats are done. My chicken wings are still cooking, my baked chicken wings. They look beautiful. Okay, so, see? Look at that nice brown color, that's pretty. And you know what, if you need to make this more of a pick-up finger food thing to go, just chop those up in little bitty bite-sized pieces. Ooh, the more the merrier. Okay, why do I have this pot of boiling water going? Well, we don't want you to eat French fries or fried potatoes. I don't want you to eat mashed potatoes. I'd rather you not eat potato salad because that's got a lot of calories in it too. So I'm gonna give you a potato recipe. Now there's still potatoes, so understand that's still a pretty heavy carb. If you're having this for dinner, you wanna eat in moderation. But I've just chopped these up, skin on. That's gonna save on your prep time. See, they're nice little pieces. You can make them smaller if you want to. If they'll cook faster, the smaller you make them. But I didn't. Watch your hands when you're throwing this in. Do they do this on the cooking shows? I don't know, but I like this because you guys hang with me. You let me be real. You let me be messy. You always send me really nice, encouraging messages. I appreciate that. Telling me thank you, Katie, for keeping it real and showing the messy side of cooking, because it just sometimes you sizzle just like that. I don't know if you heard that on camera. Maybe you didn't. Okay, so you're just putting those in there in your boiling water. And we are gonna let these get fork tender about 15 minutes. That sounds like a good one. And just gonna make sure that none of them are sticking. Now, for these, what makes these so special is, no, we're not just gonna have a bunch of boiled potatoes on a plate. I have got a shallot. Oh, by the way, that was 3 potatoes chopped up. But I've got a shallot here, and it is soaking in sherry vinegar. It's amazing. Just want to really let everything combine for a good amount of time. And then we're going to add some Dijon mustard in a little bit. That's going to give it a nice flair to your potatoes, something a little extra that's going to be very unexpected, because I know I don't usually do that either. And then I'm gonna throw in some tarragon. Do you guys at home use tarragon? I didn't until recently, but giving it a go. So you just throw that in there. You can also use rosemary if you're not a tarragon fan. But I really liked the different flavor with these potatoes. So, okay, we have that going. That means we have a little bit of a minute to go back to talking about grief. It's a really important topic because I want you to not let grief define you and not let grief take you to depression, which, you know, depression, serious clinical depression is going to look like you're in bed a lot, you're napping all the time and writing it off as in I'm tired or I'm old and so I need naps. You know, you need about 8 hours of sleep a day. We don't need to be sleeping 12 to 14 hours a day. You can do more than that. Now, for my people that work night shift, okay, this is a different story. It's not the same. Your sleep schedule is going to look different. But these are people that are just retreating to the bed and staying there. Now, there's a time frame for grief, and that's going to be different for everyone. It's important for me to tell you there are no rules with grieving. Even these stages that I'm giving you, and I'm giving you them in an order, that doesn't mean that you're going to go right through them like clockwork and that each stage has a certain amount of time. No. It's just a possibility of something that you may go through, and for you just to be aware so that you're not at home and you're eating more to cope, or you've decided to drink more to cope, or you turn to some of the unhealthy behavioral habits. You need to understand what's going on, that this is a certain season in your life, but just like the weather, it needs to pass, and you need to be able to get up and carry on. And there are all kinds of things that grieve us, not just death, but there can be, a marriage dissolving, issues with your children, pets dying, physical health is not where you want it to be. All kinds of things can cause us, like a daily grief, or something a little more prolonged, or something just really tragic, losing a parent, an incredible hardship for the family. So know that there's some flexibility with what I'm telling you. I just don't want it to stop you. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Hope you guys can see me. I'm getting a nice facial from my boiling water. But now, last week, started on the stages of grief and didn't quite finish. So, number one is denial. Again, it's just so overwhelming, you step back. A lot of times people will say, oh, you'll be okay. It'll be fine. Little heart issue. I know so-and-so that had a stent and they never had another problem again. You don't have to change anything. And that's where, look, they're trying to be supportive and they're trying to be positive. And as a therapist, as a mental health therapist, I really appreciate positivity. But I don't want my cardiac patients or my family members to believe that, nothing is going to change. Things very well may be different. Just like if you have a cancer diagnosis, things are going to change. You need to do things differently, possibly, to help your situation. If I have a patient that's on a kidney transplant list, and needs to lose weight, it's not helpful to say, oh, you'll be fine, you'll get that kidney, you don't have to lose the weight. Whereas it's going to increase their chances of getting a kidney transplant if they lose the weight. So caution, as always, when you're giving advice to people that are going through a grieving situation. I always think the best thing that you can do is say, I'm here for you, and call them and send them encouraging messages like, I'm thinking about you, I'm praying for you, and bring them healthy food. How about that? I love it when people do that for me. My sister-in-law Sarah is great about that. You're going through a hard time, she's on it, she's bringing you food, and I love it. Thank you, Sarah. Anyway, so denial. Next, anger. Okay, this doesn't mean you've turned into an angry person, but it means you are impatient, probably, easily frustrated, short-tempered, and it can come out of nowhere. You can be going along and just fine, and let's say someone cuts you off and you're saying cuss words in your head. That's really where they should stay. Try not to say them out loud. But you still don't want to have that heart and passion for that kind of rage that's building up in your head so much that you're saying that kind of angry language to yourself. Even if you're able to hold it in, you still just want to try and move past the anger, not be short-tempered with people that love you, and graceful for yourself and for other people that may not know what you're going through. And I want to be clear, I'm saying this just as much to you guys that are watching right now on Facebook and on Channel 18 as I am to myself, because just because I know this doesn't mean I'm immune to not getting angry or being in denial or, getting stuck in my sadness. Everyone is human. Everyone has challenges. So, 1, denial. 2, anger. 3, bargaining. This is going to look like, why? What you're asking yourself, why? What did I do? God, why did you do this? Did I say the wrong prayer? I thought I was doing everything right. What happened? A lot of times my cardiac patients that are marathon runners or they're avid, you know, people that really dedicate themselves to health still can have a heart issue. There can be genetics there that they can't get around. And they're going, I thought I did everything right. Why did this happen to me? Very good question. I'm pretty sure I've said that to myself also, but it happened because we live in this world and bad things happen. We endure hardships. Our body is fragile. Things can happen to us and we can't control everything. That doesn't mean you shouldn't attempt to live well, to be healthy, to choose these healthy party foods. No, you should attempt, because then you'll be going, well, I wish I hadn't have smoked all those years. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. It's not helpful to smoke. And even if you're in denial about the fact that, oh, my granddaddy lived to be 80 and smoked all his life, it still doesn't mean it's a helpful choice for you. So, you know, a lot of times people cope with stress by smoking or they have an addiction to it. But again, try and see the reality of situations and try not to turn to things that are unhealthy for yourself. I know that Better Bledsoe, the last time I met with him, was looking at doing a campaign, you know, against smoking awareness and the negative effects that it can have on you. So I wanted to mention that to you guys today. Now, we have, ready? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, stage 4. This doesn't mean you're now clinically depressed. This doesn't mean that you need medication. It means that the situation is sad and you're right to grieve. You're right to be sad. Where you get in trouble is if you get stuck here, because we want you to move to stage 5, which is acceptance. That means you're taking it in. You're saying, okay, I'm gonna make some changes. I'm gonna be graceful with myself. I'm gonna take it, you know, one step at a time. This is my new reality. I'm gonna move forward. Now you may take a step back and have a day where you're sad or have something that hits you and you find yourself just crying, and that's okay. You're gonna go back and forth between sadness and acceptance until you move through. No certain order of these stages. It doesn't mean you're gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done with grief. No, I just want you to be aware of these are some things, these are some emotions you may be experiencing. Okay, I need to check on my potatoes. I don't know that it's been enough time. It's definitely not been enough time. But let's check on my chicken wings, because I didn't set a timer. Haha. And they can cook pretty quickly at this 425. If you want them to go longer, you can do 350, 375 for 40 minutes. At least that's what Google says, but I don't know. My mama and I have never cooked chicken wings in 40 minutes. They look pretty to me. I do want to give a thank you to my film crew. I don't talk about them enough, but Allie Persley is behind the camera, and then Skylar Watkins is filming Facebook Live, and of course the famous Ethan Lloyd with Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative that is running this Channel 18 and is always present for filming. So I appreciate everything that they do for me and for making any kind of changes. So does the camera want to look at the prettiness, if they can see? I'll hold one up for Facebook Live. Chicken wing, chicken wing. Really beautiful. And because I didn't set a timer, if this happens to you at home, because you were so excited, maybe you got into watching the game, you didn't set a timer, just cut it down the center. We did cut the chicken on air. That was fun. Really, I just got to check that drumstick. And you want to make sure that it doesn't have any pink. I don't want to eat pink chicken. Just cut it open. Come here, now you're slippery. You can see I don't have any pink, so they're done. That's how you know. Okay. Get these a little bit. You know, it looks like I could have a party now with my food, because you've got the blanched vegetables that we did, and you've got the zucchini, and you've got the baked chicken wings. They look lovely. You can put those in a platter. You don't have to leave them on your aluminum foil pan. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about grief. Now, you know there's a grief group here in town. It's going to start back up in October. It's at the Methodist Church. It's not denominationally focused. It's really for anyone. But the benefit of going to a grief group is you realize you're not alone. Yalom, who is a very revered therapist that I studied in graduate school, said that in group work, part of the healing process and what helps us is catharsis, which means just expressing, just getting it out. You know, that's why I tell you guys all the time, please journal. Please get it out. None of my male clients will ever journal for me. Sometimes I can get them to engage in a little cognitive behavior therapy and rewrite negative messages, but rarely do they sit down with a journal and write about their feelings, which would be helpful because just the act of writing it down helps your brain to process. If it's just keeping it all up in there, it's gonna get muddy. So think about finding a friend, joining a group, someplace where you feel safe and can just express what's going on. And also, don't be afraid to cry. A lot of times, every time that I'm sitting across from a patient and they start to cry, they apologize to me. And it's likely, in a lot of cases, I've caused them to cry because I've made an empathic statement that hit their heart. For example, I might say, "That's such a painful situation to go through." And then they cry, and then they start apologizing for crying. I want to encourage you guys to not apologize for crying. It's a natural process, and it helps just sometimes to let the tears fall. So if you're in this group, or if you're with a friend and you don't want to talk about it because you're afraid of crying, understand that's part of it. You're sad, it's going to happen. They go hand in hand. So catharsis, the act of sharing. And Yalom also mentioned universality, meaning realizing that you're not alone, that other people are grieving and hearing their experiences. I use the same thing in my group lectures, whether it's weight management, pulmonary, or cardiac, realizing that other people are struggling with overeating, or they're sad that they're out of work because of their heart issues. Hearing that can help you. So don't stay closed off. Stay in your home and not express what's going on. Utilize these things. Utilize the people that are around you. Sometimes people like to express their grief on Facebook. Now, you guys know I love Facebook. I use it all the time. I use it personally and professionally. But I want to caution you as to saying everything on Facebook. Be careful what you feel comfortable with, and understand that people may not always say the right things. So give a little grace there. And also, if you think that people's lives are perfect because of what you see on Facebook, it's not true. We all put up the best pictures, and we all try and show, a positive side, just because that seems nice. I do it too. So don't think the reality is that your life is so much worse than someone else. They may not be telling the full story. And sometimes that can cause a lot of my patients to grieve because they think my life is so much worse than everyone else's because of what they see on Facebook. And that's just not true. I'm going to check my potatoes again. Oh, guys, they're fork tender. Hallelujah. This week for Facebook Live is airing my mule episode where I washed my mule, hallelujah, and we talked about movement. I hope you guys are able to see some of that. I'm looking for my spoon if you want to know what I'm doing in life, because I can't, oh, see, my film crew does it all. They also find my spoons. Okay, well, see how they look? And I'm putting them into my bowl of shallots, cherry vinegar, and tarragon. Boom. This was the same bowl that I mixed for our zucchini boats where I did that filling. Oh, less dishes makes mama happy. I don't like doing dishes, but I tell you what, you'll feel a lot better if you do dishes than leave them in the sink overnight. It only took me 10 years to learn that. I think that I learned it though because my husband, David Burns, said, you cook, I'll clean. And I was like, deal. And then I realized how great it was to always have a nice clean kitchen. I'm gonna leave the rest in there because I'm gonna take these two out because I need to stir. It'll be okay. Bigger bowl maybe. Talking about using up less dishes. Now, remember I said we added Dijon. Here's just regular Dijon mustard. You can get country style, more grainy, whatever. A little extra. And salt and pepper. I just moved again. Sprinkle. Just kind of lightly coat them. Again, not throwing it over my shoulder. I do like a coarse pepper with this. It looks pretty. But don't run out to the grocery store to buy coarse pepper just for this dish. It'll be okay. The fine one makes me want to sneeze. And I'm just stirring it. And you know what else you can do, guys? You can mash it. Oh, mashed potatoes. What? And if you don't eat them all, you can have this for breakfast with a side of eggs. I know this because I did it, and it was good. You know, for breakfast, you want to have that protein-carb mixture. And this will be your carbs. You don't need this and a piece of toast and an egg. Just this and egg. 2 proteins. Okay, so you just combine it. I'm trying to get it, you know how on TV they do the little green, they sprinkle it on top with some parsley? Sure, you can do that. Or it can just come out like this, showing your tarragon. And I guess if you're looking for party food, if you cut this up into smaller bites, it would be easier for people to pick up. But hey, this is pretty good. So see what we have here. Let's recap. We have got our blanched vegetables. Again, resist the urge to use ranch. No. These are just beautiful in and of themselves. You can drizzle them with a little bit of lemon juice if you'd like a zing to your vegetables. Then we're gonna move on to our zucchini. Okay, this is panko breadcrumb center herb. I'll show you, look, bite size. It's nice and crispy too. Oops, that one kind of fell apart, but you'll be okay. You just save that and you just eat that one yourself. It'll be good because you're hungry now from all this cooking. And you can pick those up, and then you have the potatoes still steaming. And I'll move these out of the way so that we can get to our chicken wings. Nice big wings. You don't get this much meat with your fried ones that you pick up from various locations. So I want to thank you, viewer, again, for writing in, asking me about this. I love that you have a focus on providing healthy food for your family while celebrating football season. And you'll remember that we cooked with Cara Sap. We did the anytime chili, and that's another option that you could throw out here with this meal too and serve to your guest. To recap and kind of summarize about grief and going through it, If your friends are grieving, you're saying, I'm here for you. Maybe you visit them, maybe you bring food, send them encouraging messages. Maybe refrain from saying, you know, it'll be okay. It's probably not okay at the moment, but just saying, I know that, you know, God is with you during this time, and He's sending you people to encourage you. He has people praying for you. He's hearing all those prayers, and He's, you know, either, you know, sending you a verse, sending you a song, sending you rain. Just rained a few minutes ago, which is like glory here in Pikeville right now because it's so dry. But He's sending you things. He's sending you things to help you, and you just have to look for it, and you have to use it, and you have to accept it. Don't wall yourself off and say, leave me alone, I'm going into a hole and I'm going to stay in the pit of my bed. Don't do that. Get out, make plans. Get your planner out and set a date with some people just to hang out, go get coffee, go to that grief group. Get with your friends. That's what's really going to help you through this time. For those of you, again, wondering what I'm drinking today, hot water, lemon, honey, if you're struggling through allergy season. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in on Channel 18. I want to thank you guys on Facebook Live for watching today. If you have any questions, message me on my Facebook page or livewell@bledsoe.net. So I hope that this week, as you go through your week, through this, you know, very, very hard life or easy life or days that we're trying to make it through, I hope that you take time to live well. Thank you.